We need to dare to believe in ourselves. We need the audacity to say that we can be champions. We need the guts to say that we'll be there more than once. We need to close our eyes and see with our hearts a banner hanging over the playing surface that declares that we did indeed believe. I wrote that a few years ago, and in fact I've written a lot of things concerning basketball. It's an ever-growing passion in my life. I teach theology, I write, I coach basketball. I keep it pretty simple. I went to school just because I wanted to be a basketball coach. When I graduated from Menominee Falls High School in Wisconsin, I went on to the University of Wisconsin at Eau Claire, where I majored in journalism education and coaching. I opted for the School of Education simply because I wanted to coach basketball. I was there on a music scholarship, but switched my major so that I could coach. It was my life, and it still remains a great portion of who I am today. I'm currently pursuing the continuance of my career as a basketball coach. During my freshman year at college, I was in an almost fatal accident that left me with a broken neck. My career to play was not only in jeopardy, but there was a chance that I would remain a quadriplegic for life. I fought the diagnosis and the strong urges to give up. By the time I was a senior in college, I was not only playing basketball, but also coaching as well. I had rehabilitated to the point that the Canterbury Bankstown Bruins of New South Wales wanted me to come and play and coach in their National Basketball League. Graduating from the School of Education geared me for working with children. The journalism component and my marketing experience gave me the ability to market my players, create press releases, and to build a successful program. To my credit, I have been published in national magazines, newspapers, and local media guides. I have also published a novel, a children's story, and this motivational book for basketball players and coaches, specifically for our basketball family, getting into the heads of those that play and coach this game. I'm also currently under contract from Publish America to have my autobiography written by next February. This is kind of an in my own words video that will give you a little bit of a history of who I am and some of the things that I've accomplished. I'm a current member of the Basketball Coaches of Michigan, as well as 5-star basketball and hoops coach. I'm a Century Club member with BCAM with over 200 high school varsity victories, and I have 543 career basketball victories. I've coached at all levels, from elementary, junior high, high school, college, and professional. The first game I ever coached was a little Parks and Rec team from Eau Claire, Wisconsin, called the Bananas, and we lost the very first game I coached. And I realized at that point that I would always try never to allow my teams to lose because of my inaccuracies or inabilities. I boasted the state's leading scorer here in Michigan in 1994-95, Lee Kakati, who had 30.4 points a game. He was also a Mr. Michigan basketball nominee for 1994-95. I've had several All-State players, and I've had some of my players go on to collegiate programs, and some have even played in the NBA. I was nominated for State of Michigan Boys Varsity Coach of the Year twice. I'm a member of the prestigious 5-star basketball camp staff, and I'm a veteran counselor and camp staff member there. We coach at Robert Morris University during the summer. I've also had a chance to coach under John Wooden at his summer basketball camp in UCLA, and also Jim Valvano at his summer camp at North Carolina State. I'm NCAA certified. Some of my coaching experience ranges from elementary basketball at Muskegon and Carson City, junior high basketball in both Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and Bellevue, Michigan, and Carson City. I did freshman boys in Bellevue, Michigan, sophomore and JV boys in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. I did high school boys and girls in Columbia Heights, Minnesota, Coon Rapids, Minnesota, North Muskegon, and Carson City, Michigan. I've had collegiate coaching experience as the men's junior varsity basketball coach at the University of Wisconsin at Eau Claire, where my team was undefeated. I also did a stint in the old women's professional basketball league, the Minnesota Phillies, as I was an interim head coach there. The WPBL is, of course, the forerunner to the women's professional basketball leagues of today. I've also done high school summer camp coaching in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, where I was the head basketball coach, overseeing coaches at the extreme sports camps there. I've coached at Raleigh, North Carolina, Eau Claire, Wisconsin, Coraopolis, Pennsylvania, Duluth, Minnesota, Los Angeles, California, Carson City, Michigan, Bettendorf, Iowa, and Fremont, Michigan. Growing up in Wisconsin, it was a great time to be a kid during the 60s and 70s. We saw the Green Bay Packers win the first 2 Super Bowls, and the Milwaukee Bucks won a championship in 1971 with their new and hot draft choice, Lou Alcindor, and some of you will know him now as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And one of my mentors at that point, and someone that I really looked up to, was Al McGuire, who coached the Marquette Warriors, which is a college that my mom went to in Milwaukee. And in high school, I was a Boy Scout, and I was in Music for Youth, and I played tuba for 16 years. I also received the Quill and Scroll Award as a sophomore for journalistic ability, and I also won the Voice of Democracy speech contest for the state of Wisconsin as a freshman. I was an editor for an award-winning high school newspaper for 4 years, and I was in the Milwaukee Youth Symphony for 2 years. I was inducted to the Order of the Arrow for Boy Scouts, and I played football, basketball, tennis, and softball in high school. Freshman year in college was when I broke my neck, and it kind of was a life-altering event for me. And during the times that I tried to rehabilitate, I became a camp counselor at Spencer Lake Youth Camp in Wisconsin. I also was obtaining my degree at the University of Wisconsin. I worked as a youth event coordinator for the Eau Claire YMCA and also managed their youth game room. In addition, I coached 2 7th grade boys teams, 2 8th grade boys teams, including the DeLong Junior High School team. I coached a sophomore boys team at Eau Claire Regis High School and was the college men's junior varsity basketball coach for 1 year at the University of Wisconsin at Eau Claire. My teams entered many postseason tournaments, including one 8th grade team that I took to the Junior Prep International Tournament in Phoenix, Arizona, where my team placed 9th in the nation. In college, I lettered in basketball, participated in tennis, baseball, track, golf, and softball. I won 12 amateur golf tournaments, 6 tennis table titles, and 6 badminton tournaments. And in 1979, I was invited to the International Basketball Trials in New South Wales, Australia, to be both a player and a coach. I was also the golf pro at the Whitetail Country Club in Colfax, Wisconsin for one summer, which was pretty sweet when I was a college kid giving golf lessons to middle-aged people for $5 a shot. In 1980, I graduated from the University of Wisconsin at Eau Claire. I became an entertainer and a speaker at youth camps in the Midwest for the Church of God organization. I was a youth pastor at a church in Minneapolis and had over 100 kids enrolled in the youth sports programs. I also evangelized in many youth conventions. My first year after graduation, I began teaching at Faith Academy in Columbia Heights, Minnesota, where I was the journalism teacher, speech teacher, English teacher, newspaper advisor, ski instructor, athletic director, varsity basketball coach, varsity baseball coach, and varsity soccer coach. I think if they could have worked in cooking hot lunch into my contract, they would have done that. Took my team to the state championship in 1980 for the Minnesota State Christian High School Association. I was also asked by the church I was affiliated with to start a Christian school. I developed a curriculum of a hands-on teaching with the ACS PACE system and developed not only an academic school approved by the state of Minnesota, but